keep it smart and simple, and you're going to learn something new every day. Our first smart topic today is plaguing hundreds of thousands of Arizonans right now. Unemployment. You know, the hunt for a new job is on for a lot of people, and it's not easy to find.
That's right. Our state right now has 9% unemployment rate, which is one of the highest in the country.
And with a lot of people out there looking for work, there's a lot of competition as well. In fact, you know, I just saw a stat that young adults in their 20s in our country, that statistic goes from 9% to 17%.
Wow.
So it's really hard for people to find jobs. And today we're going to help you kind of stay ahead of the game.
That's right, because joining us now is Michael Hayes, who is the owner of Momentum Specialized Staffing. So welcome, Michael.
Hi,
how are
thanks
you?
for having me.
Well, it's good to have you. So you've got some tips for people who are going on a job interview. So one of the things that I was reading that you were saying was that when you show up for a job interview, don't get psyched out, get psyched up. So explain that a little bit more to me when you mean that.
Well, what I meant by that was come into the interview a little bit excited.
Okay.
Try to leave your baggage at the door.
Okay.
Of looking for the job and difficulties trying to find work, because really nobody wants to hear about that when they're interviewing you. So you need to be prepared to be, you know, a pleasant person that they would want you to have working for them.
What about smiling? Like, you know, instead of like when you show up for a job interview, should you be serious or should you be smiling and, you know, uplifted kind of?
I think it's great to be friendly, but don't be over-friendly. Don't oversell yourself.
Don't need to be obnoxious.
Yeah, like too hyper?
Yeah.
Like,
Don't
hey,
act
how
like-
are you doing?
Yeah,
Got it.
come in and, you know, with a big cup of coffee, things like that.
But your
Wanna make
attitude
sure
really does define whether or not you're going to get this position, because it's really how approachable you are, how positive you are, how much energy you have, how open you are to whatever it is they have to say.
There's so many people that just, you know, can't come into an office and follow the basic directions of filling out an application or even being able to ask questions honestly without stuttering and doing a bunch of things that's going to take away from, you know, you being able to present yourself.
Okay. What would you say would be a very important tip to nailing that job that you think in general that people should know?
Well, one of the things you want to make sure you don't do is when you're in the interview, ask about what everybody's going to be doing for you. Make sure you're offering tips, strengths, things that you're good at that you can offer the company. And then you'll find out that that's a lot more receptive environment to be talking to people in for jobs.
Yeah, which kind of leads us to that. Is the first interview the place where you ask about your health benefits, your vacation, your bonuses, things like that? Or would you really wait until maybe the next callback for that kind of stuff?
I would definitely wait. I mean, those are real minefields you don't want to do on the first interview. If that topic comes up, let them bring it up. Don't you bring it up. That's kind of the way I've always said, is let the kind of the action come to you. You want to be able to talk and be credible, but you don't want to talk too much.
Well, what about when you go on a job interview? So let's say they do bring it up. They bring up, you know, well, how much money are you looking to get? How would you answer that question? I mean, that's a tough question.
Well, what you should do is do some research on the position. I mean, a lot of times they post that salary in there. I mean, if they're posting a salary, say, for like $40,000, you don't want to go in and say, well, I'm willing to work for 55. Now you've just eliminated yourself from consideration. So don't go into the job without knowing what they're posting the job for. Most people that have a legitimate position will mention what they're going to be paying.
So don't lay a number out there, but would it be okay to say to them, you know, what are you looking at for a range of this position financially?
Yes.
Not what am I looking for, what do I want to get, but tell me what you're interested in spending on this position.
Right, and that normally comes up near the end. And if you get questions from people where they start asking you the money question at the end, that's usually a good sign. But getting that out in the beginning is not a good idea.
Yeah. Also, probably not too good to start looking at the long term with this position. Like, what are my promotional opportunities here? Or where would this job lead to next?
Yeah, I think in the
Because
first...
you're already on the way out to the next position.
Yeah, in the first interview, you really want to concentrate on just getting an offer.
Yeah.
Then the rest of the stuff, you can always say no later.
So, Michael, before we go, because we've kind of wandered all over here, give us some real concrete things for people who are watching today, really need to get out there and have a solid job interview. What do they really need to do? Walk in the door and what?
Well, first of all, be prepared, know about the company. Number two, Google the person you're interviewing with. There's probably information on the internet through LinkedIn or what have you. Get their background, where they went to school, if they like a particular sports team. Those type of things are very good to use when you want to chat in the interview. And also follow directions on how they want you to apply. Don't just show up, unannounced. That's not a good thing.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you one more question. With social media being present in our world right now, what about if you, as a person that's interviewing for the job, on your Facebook page, do you think that it's probably good to kind of clean it up if you have any risque or inappropriate photos on your Facebook page if you're applying for a job?
Yes, and now they even have companies are contracting with, you'll be giving permission for them to look at your Facebook page.
Woo! Wow.
So you need to have that cleaned up way in advance.
All right, Michael Hayes, thanks so much for being
Thank
with
you.
us. We appreciate it. For more information on how to navigate your next job interview, you can head to our website, abc15.com, click on the lifestyle.